fairy section. I'm going to share another story with you today. This is another traditional tale or fairy tale we've been talking about in our topic. So remember, that means a story that's been passed down for a long time, and it can quite often have something magical in it, or magical creatures, or princes and princesses, and kings and queens. Now, this story is a really famous story. It's called Sleeping Beauty. And you might have seen the film of Sleeping Beauty. It's a really, really good one. It's been around for a long time. And again, there are lots of different versions of this story because it's such a famous story that's been around for a long time. So it's only a very little bit as well. I'll hold it up so you can see the pictures. So once upon a time, there was a palace by the water. It was very big, and that's where the king and queen lived. The beautiful palace. And this week, we're talking all about castles, aren't we? So you can see that they live in a beautiful castle. And there was lots of trees and beautiful countryside by the water. But the king and queen were not happy because they wanted a baby. There's a fish that lived in the water, and it was a magic fish. So it went over to them and said, "You will have a baby." It's a strange thing for a fish to do, isn't it? And after the fish delivered the good news, an amazing thing happened, and the king and queen had their own beautiful baby, a little baby girl, a princess, and that made them very, very happy. The king and queen invited everybody to come and see the new baby, and they invited lots of good fairies. A good fairy came to the palace, and the king said to her, "Come and see the baby princess." The bad fairy wasn't invited, but she wanted to come too to see the baby. But because she was bad, the king said, "No, you cannot come and visit our baby." The good fairy sees the baby asleep. She has lots of magic toys to give to the baby, and she's very happy to see the baby. But the bad fairy comes to the castle, and she has no treats at all for the baby. She was so cross that she hadn't been invited that she put a nasty spell or curse on the baby. She said, "The princess will cut her finger on a spindle and die," she said. "No, no," said the king and queen. So a spindle is something that's very, very pointy. In the olden days when this was set, they used to spin thread on a great big wheel and pulled it very thin and fine so that they could sew and weave with it. And it had to make the thread get nice and fine. It was separated with a very sharp needle called a spindle. So the bad witch has said that she will, when she's spinning the thread, she's going to prick her finger on a needle and die. But the good fairy said, "She will not die. I cast a spell to say that when she cuts her finger on a spindle, she will not die, but she will go to sleep instead for a long, long time." The king was very, very worried about this and said, "We cannot have any spindles in the palace. Every spindle must go." So this is what the machine looks like. Can you see? It's got a wheel on it, and it's got a very sharp spindle there. Can you see? That's what she looks like fingers on. And here's all the people that work in the palace taking the spindles away. The princess grew up and got a little older, so she's not a baby anymore. And she enjoys playing in the castle and the gardens, and she plays with her dog and has fun. She throws the ball and they have a good time playing in the garden. One day when the king and queen had gone out, the bad fairy came to the palace and said to the little princess, "I've got a toy for you. You can play with it now." And look what she's given her. She's given her a spindle. Oh no. The princess has a look at the spindle and plays with it, and she cuts her finger. Oh no. And she goes to sleep, just like the good fairy's spell. But fortunately, she doesn't die like the bad fairy's spell. And her dog sleeps too. The king and queen come home, and they see that everybody seems to be asleep. That's because of the spell. And they all of a sudden feel tired, and they go to sleep too. The princess is asleep for a long, long time. But you can see the guards are asleep as well at the castle. The good fairy comes back to the palace. The princess is a sleeping beauty, she says. One day, some princes come to the castle, and you can see that all these trees that were near the castle have all overgrown and got really big because she's been asleep for so long, and it's all got untidy and wild. They want to see the sleeping beauty, but they can't cut down all the trees. But then one prince said, I must see the sleeping beauty. I can cut down the trees, he says. He can just see the palace above the trees. If I cut them down, then I can go into the palace. Everyone in the palace is asleep. Then he sees the king and queen asleep too, and he sees the dog asleep as well. At last he finds the princess. Oh, the princess is such a sleeping beauty, he says. He kisses her and she wakes up. That's special magic, isn't it? She looks up at him. Come with me, said the prince, and they go to see the king and queen. Everybody is magically awake and the spell is broken. The king kisses the princess and the queen kisses the princess, and everybody is awake and everyone is happy. The good fairy says, Bad fairy, you must go. We do not like you and we do not want you here, causing you trouble with your naughty spells. The king says, Go away. We don't want any more bad spells. So the bad fairy goes, and the prince and the princess are happy, and the king and the queen are happy, and the dog is happy, and everyone is happy, and they all live happily ever after. I hope you enjoyed that story. I'll see you again soon.